Welcome back to the channel as we continue our look at the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, the Cataclysm of Kang Adventure. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Chapter 4, New York State of Mind. The minor and major random villain encounters that you can have when playing through this chapter. If you'd like to kind of see a breakdown of this chapter, I have another video previously. You can look up on the channel, check that out to kind of get an overview and some tips on running this chapter. But today we're just going to basically do a flip through and take a look at the minor and major villains that you can have your heroes encounter. There are going to be spoilers for this, so if you are a player planning to go through the Cataclysm of Kang adventure, you should probably stop watching now. But for any DMs or GMs who plan on running this, feel free to stick around and take a look what is in the adventure. So just to get us kind of back up to speed, I'll just read through the highlights of what this chapter is about. With Hell's Kitchen established as a foothold into Earth 616, the Hydra forces of Earth 56438 have launched a full-scale invasion. The immediate goal is to secure more beachheads into New York to take control of this important city as a prelude to wide-scale conquest. The portal has been in constant operation, getting in equipment, squads, vehicles, and superhumans to flood the streets with their presence. All of New York City is a battleground, with clashes happening at a number of important landmarks. The Baxter Building, Stark Research Center, the Convention Center, Fritz Bay's Lighthouse, LaGuardia Airport, and so on. To put a stop to this, the heroes must defeat the supremacy and force them to retreat to Earth 56438. So pretty much this is a rank 3 adventure. As part of the multiverse, here enemies known as the Supremacy have been invading New York. And during that invasion, there's a number of random encounters that the GM can use, which incorporate some major and minor villains. So we're going to take a look at that. They're on the top of page 72. And again, these are all optional. You can roll a d6, and there's some other tables that you can roll on to see what your random encounters can be. And then they provide a little bit of tips around that. So let's take a look at the minor villain encounters. So first up, we have Hawkeye. So Hawkeye, in addition to who they are, they provide some information around where you would encounter them. The Empire State Building, United Nations headquarters, trying to do a hero assassination, setting up an ambush. You get some ideas for that. With this being rank 3 heroes, I think most of the minor villains are rank 2. Let's take a look at Hawkeye's stats. One of the only, I think, minuses, at least for the Hawkeye character that I saw in this, is he doesn't really have trick arrows. So you might have to do some DM flavor to add that. In terms of traits, he's got 30 health, 60 focus. Determination, basically, if he's not going to have trouble if he loses all of his focus. Fearless, he won't have trouble on checks related to fear. Combat reflexes will let him have an additional reaction every turn, so that's something that could be used. Then he's got a few other ones: his signature weapon, public speaking, slow motion dodge. He's got sniping, stopping power, double tap. Sniping can have him do triple damage. You can see over here that his main stat is agility, so you kind of want to focus on his range attacks. Make sure you can keep him in an advantageous position. Probably have some Hydra forces around him. Fast strikes and leg sweep for when they get up close. But you'll definitely want to use, let me see, double tap and sniping to get an advantage. We won't go too in depth into this video. Usually rank 2 and rank 3 villains are pretty straightforward. You want to have them do their attacks, keep other henchmen around to make sure that they don't get overwhelmed based on how many heroes they're fighting. Go from there. All right, so we have Hawkeye, Clint Barton. You have to flavor up some trick arrow items for that. Next on the list is Titania. And then they provide some places for her. Metropolitan Museum of Art. You could be trying to steal priceless artifacts. New York Stock Exchange runs rampant in there. Bronx Zoo releasing a number of animals. That gives you the page number on the core rule book. So let's go to 249, check out some of her basic stats for Titania. All right. Again, another rank 2 villain. See if anything stands out. She does have damage reduction -2. Big. She can reach an extra space. Combat expert. Let me look up combat expert real quick. See if that. I think that gives her bonus against rank 1. Edge on melee attacks against enemies that are rank 1, so that may not apply if your heroes are rank 3. Power, she's got Mighty, Sturdy 2. So again, you roll a fantastic success on Mighty, that's going to do some knockback, and then she's got the typical banging heads, clobber, super strength moves. Melee is her highest stat. So you just want to get her in there and do some basic punching. Supervision, let's see, fearless, weird. The fearless trait is going to edge to action checks versus fear. And what does weird do? Weird is edge to ego to favorable groups, trouble to disagreeable groups. So if he's trying to convince some people, they might find her weird based on who it is. All right. And I think, yep, those are her stats. Again, banging heads, clobber, crushing grip, a lot of the super strength moves. She does have some damage reduction, so you can like use her to take a little bit of damage from your heroes. Have some distractions within the zoo or the stock market exchange if you choose to use her. All right, the next minor villain is Echo, the evil version from the alternate Earth. All right, so that says that is Maya Lopez. She's a loyal Hydra sergeant. UN headquarters. She's breaking into the UN to steal sensitive information. Local Magia hangout. Local organized crime syndicate. Doesn't take kindly to Hydra's invasion, so maybe she's trying to take over from that. The Raft. Trying to break out the Wrecking Crew. Some suggestions for using her. And she is on page 166. Let's find Echo. Right. So rank 2 again. 30 health, 60 focus, no damage reduction. +2 initiative modifier. She's got combat reflexes, determination, famous fearless presence. No traits or tags that would give too many different items or too many different bonuses. Combat reflexes is an extra reaction. She's got combat trickery, attack stance. She's got clone moves. So her main power is that she can copy other people's powers, but this is only powers that are in the physical realm, I believe. Let's look up clone moves real quick. Let me see if I can find her power. I think it is. I believe she has a limitation on that. All right, so if we look up clone moves, duplicates another character's power. Anything that can be selected with the special training powers, special training origins, they can now use those powers as if they always had them, and they have to pay the cost. So if we look at special training, melee weapons, martial arts, let's see, does it have that broken down somewhere? Power set. Super strength, super speed, martial art, special training. If you look up the special training on page 68, that's anything with martial arts, melee weapons, range weapons, shield bearer, and tactics. So those are the powers that she can clone. Right, let's see what page was her stuff on. We'll flip back to 166. Any other things to call out for Echo? I don't think so. I think she's also pretty standard. 2s in most of her stats. Agility's +3. Yep. So she's fairly fragile. So if you have the opportunity or you have a hero that maybe is a higher rank, that could be a good way to have her observe them where they can't see it, so she can do that standard action to clone one of their moves, and that could maybe spice things up a little bit. Right, that's Echo. Another minor villain encounter is Bullseye. All right, for him, the Raft again, maybe trying to break out the wrecking crew if they've been captured. Bar with no name. So maybe a couple of super villains are hanging out with the bar, discussing tactics. Bullseye is there to eliminate them. Wet work. Bullseye is sent to take over somebody, to take out somebody in the resistance. So different ways for them to encounter him. Let's check him out on 150. And we're anticipating, again, most of the rank 2 villains are going to kind of be something that flavor wise you want to take advantage of. They won't be too lethal of a threat. You could also choose to team them up, maybe pair them up depending on the size of your group. He does have damage reduction -1. Non-combat agility is pretty high. Agility is his best stat. Again, combat reflexes. Signature attack sniping. So that means whenever he uses the ranged weapon sniping attack, he'll get edge on that. So don't forget to roll edge for him whenever he does that. Anything else to really call out? Yeah, so pretty standard. Double tap, point blank parry, you'll use those as needed. I think I have a couple videos in the past where we kind of talked through some of the different powers or combat test videos, so feel free to check those out. And that is Bullseye. All right, and this is D6 roll, so there's 2 more to go, Elektra and Winter Soldier. So for Elektra, she's a Hydra commander of their assassination squad. She can be in Chinatown, targeting organized crime syndicates. New York Public Library, looking for ancient manuscripts for cosmic events. That can be interesting. Waldorf Astoria Hotel, a high-profile target that needs to be taken out. Politician, business mandate, celebrity. Some interesting things you can do with her. She's on page 167. Take a look at Elektra. All right. Again, she's got 60 health, 30 focus, +1 initiative, combat reflexes, so extra reaction, signature attack, fast attacks. Just like Bullseye, except for her, if she does fast attacks, she'll get edge on that. Melee does a little bit more damage, but pretty standard down the list. Determination, again, if she loses her focus, she will get trouble. Fearless, advantage on fear checks. Nothing else really to call out. Signature weapon is her size. Pretty standard. So you can use her to maybe do some sneak attacks, get some fast attack rolls in with edge. See if she can get the drop on the team. And last of the minor villains is Winter Soldier. Federal Reserve Bank. Try to break in and steal gold. FBI building. Stealing sensitive information or as part of an ambush. Directly target one of the heroes or an ally. And let's see the evil version of him. So he's 4 rules 258. So this is a good way for you to use some of the heroes in the rule book in different ways, with them being from the alternate universe. Show off some of their abilities. Take a look at him. So he's the last of the minor villains. He is a rank 3, so I think he was the only one that's rank 3. No damage reduction though. So 90 health, 60 focus, +2 initiative modifier. Combat expert, edge against rank 1s, connections, espionage. Determination, extraordinary leverage, sneaky. I think that's sneaky is like an edge on stealth rolls. Let's see. Nothing really to call out in terms of special things to look out for. Martial arts, he's got a lot of martial arts abilities. Mighty One would give him a little bit of strength for knockback, then his ranged weapons. So melee and agility are fours. So he can start with range and then move in closely. We know suppressive fire does stun. I think leg sweep does have some status conditions to it. So he would be pretty interesting in a group, taking on a group of rank threes with some backup. They might be able to have a little trouble with him. Right, and that is the minor villains that you can be encountered while you're fighting against the supremacy. Let's take a quick look at the major villains that they have. So first one in here now is Crossbones, one of Captain America's nemesis. So they've got Crossbones is a dedicated member of the supremacy. He wants to make a name for himself, be recognized back home. Sabotaging the subway systems, taking out government targets, and raiding police armories. It also says he might enlist Titania to add some muscle to any of the operations, so maybe they can have those two team up. Let's take a look at Crossbow stats on page 155. Crossbones, rank 3, health 90 and 90. Traits battle ready. Let me look that one up real quick. It's not ringing a bell. Oh, adds 30 focus, so that's why he has 90 focus. Bloodthirsty means he will try to kill the heroes if they are downed. Combat expert. He'll have an extra reaction. Situational awareness will give him an edge on his initiative modifier. When you're rolling initiative, he'll get that edge. That's what that E stands for there. Get a little bit closer in there. Any other main call out? Signature weapons, a machine gun, accuracy, slow motion dodge. Yep. Pretty much has all the range weapons abilities to utilize. Agility is pretty high. So he'll get that bonus +5 to his attack roll. So pretty good there. All right. That is a look at Crossbones. Wait, let me see tags, backup, and villainous. Hold on. That one also isn't ringing a bell offhand. Backup and call an organization for immediate backup at any time. Okay, so he can call maybe some of the alternate Hydra guys at any time. And villainous cares little for the rights or lives of others. Okay, so he's a bad guy. That's probably why he has bloodthirsty. The official bloodthirsty trait is must make challenging ego check to keep from killing an unconscious foe. So he has to make a challenging ego check, and he gets +0 to his ego. So he will more than likely try to eliminate any opposition. All right, that's the first one. The next one up in the list is Black Widow, evil version. So for her, they've got Homeland Security. She's infiltrating local offices of Homeland Security. The Raft, breaking into the Raft to secure important, powerful villain info. Eliminate rivals. She knows there are local Hydra cells in and around New York, and it's up to her to root them out. She might draft Hawkeye to work with them. So you guys could maybe do a Black Widow Hawkeye team up, except it is the evil version. Take a look at Black Widow stats on page 146. Right, so she is ranked 3, 60 and 90. Beguiling trait. I think that means that people will try to help her. Edge to ego versus targets attracted to them. Determination, free running. We haven't seen that one in a while. Edge on agility for acrobatics while moving. Leverage. Edge on logic checks to investigate people. Ego checks to persuade investigated targets. So she gets an edge on things like that. And then since we've got sneaky up, edge on agility when sneaking around. Enemies have trouble on vigilance checks to detect. All right, and then we would probably ignore this heroic tag once she's the bad guy. That's why agility is the highest. Ego is also the highest. Inspiration, slow motion dodge, attack stance, counter strike technique, tactics, change of plans, and combat support. Change of plans and combat support. I don't know that we have looked at too many tactics powers. Let's go ahead and check those out real quick. Change of plans. So for tactics powers. Change of plans, the character thinks of a better way. Inspiration, rank 2, it's a reaction. An ally has trouble on an action check. Ally gains an edge. So basically, if somebody else has trouble, she can do change of plans and give them an edge. Right there. And then the other one she had was combat support. What was that one about? Combat support. Once per battle, this character chooses an ally in earshot. If the ally makes an action check before the start of the character's next turn, the ally automatically rolls a 1 on their Marvel die. And that die cannot be affected by trouble. Okay, so this can basically make somebody else get a fantastic success. And she can only do that once per battle. So if she teams up with Hawkeye, that could definitely be a pretty lethal combo if she does combat support and he does sniping, which does triple damage. So that could definitely be a tough combo to deal with. And the only other one I feel like I haven't talked about before is Unflappable Poise under martial arts. Let's just take a look at that one real quick. Most of the other ones are pretty standard attack, and if you get a fantastic success, do double damage or add a condition. But Unflappable Poise, not ringing any bell. Let's see. Martial arts, permanent. Any close attacks against this character have trouble while they use defense stats. Such attacks have double trouble. All right, is this a reaction? So this is permanent. So any attack against her will automatically have trouble. And if she goes into defensive stance, they'll have double trouble. All right. Fantastic. Okay. That is Black Widow. Let's go ahead and take a look at who's next on the list for major villain encounters. Silk, the evil version. Cindy Moon was the student bitten by a radioactive spider on the alternate Earth. When she demonstrated her abilities, she was quickly drafted into the Supremacy. So she could be targeting Spider-Man and his friends. Extra, extra, she infiltrates the Daily Bugle and other major news to force them to broadcast Hydra propaganda. Medical strikes, attack on several hospitals, Stark Enterprises. Silk and Echo team up to assassinate one or more leading figures in Stark Enterprises. Let's take a look at Silk's stats in the core rules. Page 234. Let's get an idea of what she can do. All right, so she is ranked 4, health 90, focus 90. Audience combat reflexes, sources, eidetic memory. I should be able to read everything. Pundit should be news related. Situational awareness gives her an edge. Audience, I think, is the only trait that I don't really recognize seeing a lot. Let's see if that does anything special. Audience, ego checks to gain info or resources from a group. All right, and then she basically has combat trickery, evasion, integrity, mighty. Melee 5, agility 4. Agility is her highest stat to hit with, but she's not shabby in melee either. Basically has all the spider power, so a lot of stunning. Definitely could be a tough foe. And that, yep, edge on her initiative roll. Okay, fast attacks, hit and run, vicious attacks, and a plethora of spider power, including spider pheromones. That one I'm not sure that I have seen. Let's take a look at spider pheromones real quick. Not sure what that one does. Great mash. Right, spider pheromone. Character exudes pheromones that affect those nearby. This concentration has an edge on ego intimidation checks against people who are not attracted to their gender. They also have an edge on ego persuasion checks against people who are attracted to their gender. Kind of like Spider Woman, Spider Pheromones power. Right, and that is Silk. And we are halfway through some of the options. Number 4, the Green Goblin. Let's see, target the Avengers. Looking for a weak link in the Avengers. Looking to break up there, kidnapping bankers. Attack the Brooklyn Bridge. Further isolate the city. Or tries to take over Oscorp on Earth 616. That seems like that could be a tough encounter. That's why that's one of the major villains. Let's see. Page 176. We'll take a look at Green Goblin. If anybody wants to try to use them as a random encounter. Norman Osborn, 120, 60 focus. He's got -1 damage reduction. Criminal, celebrities, deal maker, extra occupation, famous, inventor, tech reliance. So he basically needs his goblin tools to be able to do his thing. Spider-Man is his enemy. Signature weapon, pumpkin bombs, frag grenades. Melee agility are high. Damage modifiers for melee are the highest. Accuracy, combat trickery, flight. He also has a healing factor. Mighty 2. He's got energy, elemental control, elemental blast and burst, probably from the grenades. Some super strength moves. He has clobber, crushing grip, quick toss. He's got battle plan and change of plans. I believe battle plan removes stun from enemies. Let me refresh and see if that is correct. Battle plan. Character inspires one or more allies of their choice in earshot up to the character's vigilance. Oh, this one is characters gain an edge on all action checks. So he can give everybody an edge. And he has enemy Spider-Man tag. Let me check out what the enemy tag does. Enemy sworn to defeat the character. Okay, so that's not necessarily any type of bonus. And then deal maker, is that anything with a bonus? Edge on action check to make deals. Okay, makes sense. All right, so pretty straightforward. Just a tough overall enemy who has melee and ranged attacks along with super strength and motivational things. So he could be a tough encounter to deal with. All right, let's see who's next. Dr. Octopus, and then Abomination will be the last one. So for Dr. Octopus, Power Grid, they've got him maybe attacking a power grid, Alchemix Lab, targeting the research facility, Empire State University. He wants to take out some of the prominent research folks at there and gifted students. Intrepid, Dr. Octopus and Elektra team up to target the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum, where it's not just a relic of military history, but contains a cache of secret weapons, military technology, and equipment once hidden away by S.H.I.E.L.D. I do like how they have some of these major and minor villain team ups, so you can definitely they give you suggestions on who to put together, provide provide an encounter for your hero group. Let's take a look at Dr. Octopus's stats. 161. Doc Ock. Right, he is also a rank 4 villain. 90 health, 60 focus, plus 2 initiative. Tags and traits. Nothing that will really cost too much. Abrasive, I think, is trouble when trying to influence someone. Oh, edge to ego to intimidate. Sorry, that's edge to ego to intimidate. He's got additional limbs. Brilliance, Mighty 2, extended reach, spider dodge, and wall crawling. Telepathy, machine telepathy. That's how he talks with his arms. Most of these abilities are pretty straightforward. We can check out additional limb. I think that lets him get an extra attack or shoot an extra weapon. Let's see what that says. Additional limbs. Permanent. It has an additional appendage. Be used to lift objects, use tools, or take actions that normally require the use of a hand. This grants him an edge in melee and agility check. Right, so he'll get an edge in melee and agility check. All right. That is Doc Ock. And last but not least was Abomination. Let's see, they've got resistance base, a fortified bunker, used by people resisting Hydra is targeted by Abomination. Beast of a feather. Despite his monstrous appearance, and his chest still beats the heart of Rick Jones. He's worried about the animals in Central Park Zoo being left unattended. He goes to take care of them and free them. Making the grade, he rampages across Empire State University campus, looking for key professors, scientists, and grad students. Focused on theoretical physics and cosmic sociology. And for science, Abomination and Winter Soldier team up to ransack Stark Research Center. So that is a number of ideas for how to use him and who to team him up with. Our last major villain is on page 134. Just take a look at Abomination stats and see if anything stands out that we would like to take a look at. Again, he's a rank 5, and it does have random roll tables. So both him and Winter Soldier were if he rolled a 6. So they're probably the toughest ones on here. Him for sure, health 240, damage reduction -3, focus is 90 +3. So I think your group is really knocking through everything. You throw Abomination at him, that could definitely change that up. Abrasive, Berserker, big, bloodthirsty, enduring constitution, leverage, weird. All right, tags, green door, immunity, gamma radiation, public identity, radioactive, villainous. A lot of basic brawling powers, combat trickery, healing factor, mighty 3, 33 is pretty good. Jump 3, he's got some great movement, and most of the super strength powers. Melee damage is ×8. That could be tough. So he can do 48 + 8, 56 damage a punch. Definitely take somebody out. Let's take a couple of these traits we haven't seen that much of. Berserker. Berserker, he gets an edge on attacks, +2 to melee, resilience. Ego is -2. Agility, no ranged weapons. After last enemy, lose 5 focus. Okay. So he could be inflicting self-focused damage to himself. Bloodthirsty, we know about that one. Tags, I think Green Door was the one I saw that is not too familiar. That one is Gamma mutates return to life after death, effectively immortal. Okay. Right, and that is Abomination, M.O. Blonsky. He's going to be a tough nut to crack. I think that's going to conclude our look at the minor and major villain encounters as part of the chapter 4 for Cataclysm of Kang, New York State of Mind. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Just wanted to take a quick look at some of the random items. hopefully here in the future, if we get some likes and comments, or if folks want to see some more breakdown of the Cataclysm of Kang, you can take a look at chapter 5. Until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below. Have a great day.